This is what it is.
All right, so I think it is far more fair and far more instructive for the Niners to judge Brock Purdy off this season than last season when you're projecting forward. It is more like the type of team you are going to typically have around you in this league, particularly when the quarterback is highly paid.
Have you ever heard of someone called Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't know if you've heard of him. Once upon a time, Jimmy Garoppolo was a quarterback in the NFL, and he was absolutely terrible. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And in their wisdom, the 49ers decided to make him the highest paid quarterback in football. And you know what happened? You know what happened when they did that? Frickin' nothing, dude. In 2 years, his contract was a bargain. They still had $100 million to give to Trent Williams. They still had $100 million to give to Fred Warner. They still had $75 million to give to George Kittle. They still had $70 million to give to Debo. So shut up, Nick Wright, shut up. By the way, is it just me? Or does Rachel Nichols look like an entirely different person now? I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions. Anyway, you know what handcuffs a team is not trading your aging stars for draft picks while you have the chance. That's what handcuffs teams, okay? Not trading Debo for a late first or an early second when you had the chance. Not trading Brandon Ayuk for a second and a fourth when you had a chance. Not trading Nick Bosa for a boatload of picks when you had a chance. By the way, great investment. No, great investment. $170 million for Leonard Floyd level production. Great job. Great job, everybody. High five. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, he gets double teamed. He's the only player in the league that gets double teamed. TJ Watt never gets double teamed. No, $170 million for Leonard Floyd level production is what handcuffs your team. Okay? Trading 5 picks for a small, injury-prone running back is what handcuffs your team. Giving him a raise after the highest usage of his career, when you know he's going to break down, you know the statistics tell you he's going to break down. After the highest usage of his career, you then proceed to give him a raise. Instead of trading him to recoup some of your losses, you instead decide to give him a raise. That's what handcuffs your team, okay? Not freaking quarterback pay. Drake May is going to make $100 gazillion in 2 years. Nobody's going to give a damn about what you pay Brock Purdy. We talked about Jimmy Garoppolo. Have you ever heard of somebody named Russell Wilson? Worst contract ever. Year later, nobody cares. The draft picks hurt, but the contract, who freaking cares? Denver's fine. Carson Wentz, oh my God, they can't get out from under that contract. They got out from under that contract. They're fine. The Eagles are fine. What are you talking about? Shut up.
Who do you think is the most beautiful girl you ever seen? Who do you think is the most beautiful girl you ever seen? It can be a person or we're going to take the question. I just want to know. I ain't saying, no. I just want to know from you real quick. Like, who's like, man, she's super beautiful. Prime Paula Patton was
Paula Patton is Emmanuel Acho's, one of Emmanuel Acho's all-time baddest ever? I don't know about that. I would rank Gen Z news lady way ahead of Paula Patton.
It's illegal for U.S. police departments to refuse to hire someone for scoring too high on their intelligence tests.
Informative as well, you know what I mean?
Nearly 1 in 5 American credit card users have maxed out on their borrowing. The guy, a U.S. Army major,
I think Gen Z news lady easily clears Paula Patton.
Israel's actions in Gaza. He said at some point.
All right, let's see what's on 49ers YouTube. Matt Mayoko talks about Roger Craig being left out of the Hall of Fame. I would vote for Roger Craig, but the problem for Roger Craig is he was the 5th best running back of his era. You had Walter Payton, Eric Dickerson, Barry Sanders, Marcus Allen, who was benched for a lot of his prime, and he still had better numbers than Roger Craig. So Marcus Allen, Thurman Thomas, if you want to say they overlapped, and Tony Dorsett. So I would vote for him, but it's a hard path to the Hall of Fame, being the 5th best player at your position. This guy says he would run through a wall for Fred Warner. I would trade Fred Warner. That's what I would do. No, because his contract is coming up. He's going to want an extension. He's going to want another $100 million. He may or may not hold out. He'll send those signals. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? What'll happen? I would trade his ass, because this is the exact time in a linebacker's career where they begin to decline and fall apart. And you see that already with all of his nagging injuries. You know what I would do? I would trade him for a bunch of picks. And with one of those picks, I would take a flyer on a talented 4th rounder who fell in the draft because he's a knucklehead, okay? Who's been credibly accused of blank. You know what I mean? Innocent until proven guilty. We all know he's guilty, but we're going to say, hey, come on. He's innocent until proven guilty. Who knows? We all know he's guilty, okay? But who cares? I want a freaking psychopath on defense. No more choir boys, dude. I want guys like Charles Haley and Alden Smith, all right? Charles Haley took a poop on a coach's car, or was it a desk? I don't remember. J Mill, you guys, if you remember what I'm talking about, let me know. But yeah, I want psychopaths on defense. No more choir boys. I want a cheap 4th rounder who fell in the draft due to character issues. That's what I want on defense. Colin Cowherd says Kyle Shanahan has too much say in the draft. Yeah, of course he does. I agree. I totally agree with that. Where I differ from fans is I don't feel the need to extract an apology from Kyle Shanahan. I don't need him to grovel. I don't need like a written admission that he sucks at drafting. It's fine. Like David Lombardi. Remember when David Lombardi used to get caught plagiarizing? He got humiliated. Fox Sports was goofing on Lombardi. And you know what he did? He changed his behavior. He was humiliated, so he changed his behavior. He didn't have to issue an apology. He didn't have to admit wrongdoing. He changed his behavior. Good enough. Okay? Bill Belichick, he didn't admit that he sucked at the draft. He was like, okay, fine. You want me to step back from the draft? I'll step back in the draft. He told Robert Kraft. Okay? He didn't have to admit he was wrong. These guys have big egos. They don't want to admit they're wrong. And I expect the same from Kyle. Even me, like if I'm ever in a relationship with somebody like sheltered, homeschooled, Christian college educated ex-girlfriend, you think I'm going to behave the same way I did back then? You think I'm still going to be a douchebag? Of course not, dude. I'm going to be on my best behavior if I get a second chance. But I'm not going to write an MLA formatted essay about it, dude. I will just correct my behavior if I ever get the opportunity again.